Hello there, and as usual, I'm Aaron from Let's Stay Gamers, and welcome. So today we're taking a look at these rather interesting parachutes. Now these popped up on the workshop a few days ago, and I have to say, the possibilities of them are quite endless. But what I wanted to have a go with them today is using them like you would see the military use them to pull cargo, vehicles, equipment out the back of a transport vehicle or aircraft and deploy them to an area of operation. So I've got two little setups here. We've got one with two little buggies in, and the other one is full of cargo containers. So if we look over here, you can see we've got a variety of different cargo containers offering ammunition, supplies, and different equipment for our guys on the ground. And the whole idea of this is that these could be loaded up in space very easily. These hydrogen-powered dropships come down to the planet, they drop the supplies off, pull it straight out the back, and deliver it to the outpost. But let's see how well that works. So the first version of the ship we're going to have a look at is the cargo variant. We've got 4 layers of cargo, we've got a mixture of large and small containers, everything that we need to resupply a small base or keep some troops going on a ground operation. So we're actually going to drop these out, and the important thing about this is speed will allow us to drop these much more effectively. You can see we've got the timer blocks down at the bottom, and I'm deploying 1, pulling the chutes out the back, beautiful. 2, pulling the chutes out the back. 3, we've got more chutes, beautiful, and now we've got the last wave of parachutes. Let's see if this deploys. We've only got 2 chutes deploying on that last one, so it looks like one of these has not deployed. Maybe I've not wound it up correctly. We've probably got a little bit of a situation to actually have a look at there. Anyway, we'll skip back and have a look at how these chutes are coming down. Turn the ship around quite gently. You can see the chutes are off there in the distance, and if I switch to spectator and bring the spectator camera down across the landscape, you can see the chutes are opening up very nicely as they fall in from the sky there. So we've got the 2 smaller cargo containers, and we've got the larger one that seems to have pulled up and away from them. And the speed of these chutes actually coming towards the ground is so slow that all the supplies will remain intact. You can see how the parachute module is actually opened up, and there's just so many uses for this. You could use this as a sort of ejection pod. You could eject out your ship and parachute down towards the ground, and various other supplies. Now, knowing me, I tend to weaponize a lot of things, but before I show you how I weaponize this little parachute, I'm going to deploy some vehicles. So we've got the last few chutes coming down there, very gently, very slow. I think we're going to have 1 or 2 actually making contact with the earth itself. We've got 2 that have landed over here. Now these ones are going to make contact. Let's see if there's any damage done at all to the modules and the cargo within. And it's just pushing down. Parachute should fall the way to the side. Beautiful, easy to access and get them supplies out of them containers. Perfect. We've got the larger cargo container as well dropping right next to it. Some of the supplies are falling in the background as well. Beautiful. So we've tried deploying some cargo. Let's actually give an attempt at deploying some vehicles. Now I've got a small rover and a larger rover, and I believe the back rover at the moment is missing a wheel, so we'll just have to miscount that from when we actually drop. So we're going to go with quite a high speed eject, and we've got them on timer blocks 1 and 2. So parachute's pulling it out, and parachute should pull the second one out. Beautiful ejection there. Let's actually switch to our spectator camera that's up on the top once again, and just see how these are deployed out the back. They pulled out absolutely perfectly. You can see since the balance of that vehicle's a little bit off, it is spinning around, and the second vehicle has came out in complete intact. Now you're probably thinking, Aaron, when that actually hits the ground, what's going to happen here? It's just going to tilt onto its back. That's where balancing these vehicles comes as a very important factor, and hopefully, if I'm correct, I'm not going to eat my own words, it's actually going to flip onto its front when it comes down to the ground. So this is a great way of deploying vehicles and other sorts of troops to the environment. You can also get a second parachute on there if you want. So it should drop down, and then it should roll onto its front wheels like so. Beautiful. Now the other vehicle, let's just have a quick look at what happened over here. It rolled onto its front by the look of it, but since there wasn't a third wheel there, it just kind of collapsed. But perfect for deploying tanks or other heavy ground vehicles. You could also make yourself a drop pod where you could have multiple parachutes pulling something that really heavy rather than just one of these small rovers. Anyway, let's weaponize this thing. So here in front of me in blueprint form is what I like to call the sleeper mine. Now you may remember cluster bombs and how they were banned under the Geneva Convention because they kind of left little particles and bombs around and people got the foot blown off and stuff like that. Well, the whole idea of this is this mine just drops to the ground, much like a butterfly bomb, and it sticks there. So I'll just deploy a few of them here, and they actually deploy after 100 meters. You'll see the chute actually open up, so we've got 4 or 5 bombs going in there, and the bomblets open up just in time before they hit the ground, like so. and they fall gently towards the ground, and then they are armed by the second sensor, and anything that comes within 3 meters of these bad boys will get destroyed. Now what you can do to improve these is colour them towards the environment. You can see how the chutes are actually folding down. So say we're in this deserty sort of sandy environment here, we can actually find a deserty tone in the colour palette, like so. And we'll actually just colour it in. You can see how much better that blends into the environment itself. And if a vehicle or anything gets a little bit too intrusive and tries to work out what the hell this thing is, it will simply blow up. I would just love to find some way of deploying these. I've tried to deploy them out the back of here, but the problem is the chutes deploy them too fast, they ram into each other and they break apart. So I'm going to have to work out some sort of warhead where the clusters can actually be deployed in like multiple sort of factions without actually hitting each other. But having a lot of these deployed is just really intense. So you can see all them falling towards the ground there. The chutes will actually pop open. So there we go, we've got a few in them. We've got actually a load in one big cluster here. That wouldn't be really too effective. But you can see the idea, and just the possibilities of using these parachutes as weapons are endless. You could do some sort of barrel bomb if you wanted to, with larger warheads as well. Anyway, I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Definitely check out this parachute mod, it is unbelievable, and I'll see you